Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today I'm going to talk about gold and silver, do our daily technical analysis update, take a look at the dollar, the 10-year yield, look at all these, we'll call it market conditions, see what's going on. And you are right, I do not wear shirts that have labels on it. I am not a logo or a billboard for someone else, and these shirts are literally probably $2-3 each. So that's about it. They're just kind of lightweight shirts. This one's a purple one. Might be hard to see in the screen here, but I just wanted to talk about that. I saw that in the comments in there. But let's dive in. Let's do this technical analysis. I'll give you my financial opinion here, and let's let the charts do the talking, at least the way that I can read them. So dollar's been going on up. If you zoom in, you can see it broke this chart pattern. It's moving higher. I'm going to continue to zoom in. We have a small ascending wedge that broke to the downside. We broke this downtrend to the upside just recently. So when things get real close, you can see they dive back and forth. And I do think this is probably going to increase against other currencies. The dollar is the strongest. I do still have to do that video of kind of the thesis 2.0 of kind of how money's going to flow, I think, around and what's going to rotate it. I think a lot of people already know my opinion on it, but I'll sum it up again. So the dollar does look like it's getting stronger. It's not going to stop a commodity move because they're all being debased quite rapidly. But I do think it does have an impact on non-dollar denominated assets and currencies and how money flows are going to flow over time. Here's the 10-year yield. It was up 1% today. I'll back out real quick. This is a one-year chart. We've been basically bopping back and forth between these two support and resistance lines. We're right here at the bottom. It's kind of a bullish, piercing almost pattern. If you zoom way in, it's just kind of bopping back and forth here, bouncing off some support. Yeah, about right here. There's the support going over here. We'll see where this thing goes. I do think that it's going to go higher over time. That's my opinion. We've got a massive reverse head and shoulders here. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit differently. Shoulder, head, shoulder. And I think we'll break to the upside and rates will go higher at some point. Looking at gold. Gold, I mean, guys, it has been pretty, how can I say this? It does affect you. It does hit your emotions some. It's down $12 or so. It does have a little wick at the bottom. It looks like we've got a little bit of support here. We're bouncing off that support. Hopefully this support can hold at 1760. That's exactly where the support is. I'm not doing anything with my shares. I have a lot of shares in gold and silver. And I'm just holding on. Do I think we're early to this game? I do think. In all honesty, with inflation where it's at, I would have thought rates would have gone up by now, more than what they have, but they've held them down. I do think that's having an impact on gold and the price of it. And whenever those rates go up, I think is when we'll see gold start to regain some footing and start moving. But remember, the markets like to anticipate that. So we'll see what happens with these markets. Silver's down, or silver was up today, but we bounced off kind of this guy here, and we're moving sideways on a very, very short-term basis. Here's a 1 month. That's a 1 month time frame there. A 1 year time frame. We've pulled. I thought we were going to launch here. Reverse, inverted head and shoulders, ready for the launch. We broke the neckline. I was like, yeah, here we go. And then it just pooped out. But I'm going to remain positive. I'm going to hold on to my physical metals and my shares, and just hold on. That's what I'm doing. Here's platinum. Platinum, let's back up here. This has an amazing, massive pattern here, all the way back from the mid-2000s. We broke to the upside, and we're doing our retest move. This is usually when I like to start getting more aggressive. I have been cost averaging into physical platinum. I bought a lot during the crash in 2020, before the crash in 2019, after the crash in 2020, and I've been buying here. Anything below $1,000 over here, I've been cost averaging in. Zooming on in on it, we've got kind of this descending wedge, and it looks like it wants to break to the upside. See how this, I drew this in a couple trading days back. I said, well, what if I just drew it like this? And it's been popping back and forth, and it looks like it wants to break to the upside. We've got a lot of hits on this trend line. So if we break to the upside here, I think we could see at least in the short term, a move higher. And maybe this is the bottom of a very long-term move. We might never see $940 again. So I add a little bit in. I didn't do it today, but I've been adding in this section back here, here and there. Palladium is putting in what looks like to be a bottom. It's not an uptrend yet. We're very close. If we break this area and close above 1786, almost where it's at, it needs to go a little bit higher. I'd say maybe 1800 would be a clear break, or 1810 would be a really nice clean break out of this area. I would say that it's a bottom. We broke the downtrend line. We've got some nice good support through here. And if we clear 1800 and close above that, I would say that we are in a new uptrend for palladium. We're gonna skip down and do the royalties first. Here's Sandstorm Gold. Sandstorm Gold blew right through its support line here. Let me see if we got the support line in there. There we go. There's the big old support line that we've got. It's playing with the support line. And we're coming here. We're trying to find resistance. We gotta see some resistance here, guys. Otherwise, this is gonna blow to the downside. We want to see a turn right here, right now. The good thing is that gold itself doesn't look too bad. Silver looks like silver needs some work. Platinum and palladium look a little bit better. So we got to find some footing here. Here is Franco-Nevada. Again, we're playing with support lines. We got a little wick at the bottom, which means that we could potentially be bouncing off this support. If we zoom in here, see, we can find that support. It's stuck there. We got to bounce back up. Come on, baby. Here's EMX royalty. Let me zoom back out. Looks like it's breaking out of its support. This thing could go lower here. If you're in EMX and you are afraid and you don't want to hold on, then now's the time to think about dumping it if you're going to dump it. Because we got a nice kind of clean break here. We may come up and do kind of like almost a back test retest, and we may roll over. It's a possibility. So in the 1 year, you can see that. You can see that break, clean break right through it. I'd like to see it come back up, but I'll be honest, guys, I'm in disbelief that this thing hasn't rallied up and it's kind of rolling back over. Could this be flushing out some buy signals? Maybe, maybe not. You know, some sell orders, I should say. They're flushing out sell orders right below this support line, gobbling up shares before they slingshot it higher. The market conditions support this to go higher. Will it go higher in 6 months or a year? I don't know that. But I'm holding on. I own EMX royalty. I'm holding on. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to ride this thing. And I've been getting beaten up on Tootin Resources, and this could also sell off as well. There isn't much support below this, so we could jet down all the way to 48 cents. So if you guys don't want to hang around, that's up to you, but I'm kind of just hanging out. I've been a buyer from a long time, and I cost averaged in at the bottom of this line here, hoping that this support line would hold. It is not holding. It is kind of falling back. Is this a slingshot pattern where it kind of comes back and then rips higher? We got to see that in gold. But, I mean, if you guys are afraid, this is where, I mean, we're getting close to this thing falling out. Wheat and precious metals. Let's back out a little bit. We're still in a good pattern here. This thing still looks pretty good. This has got royalties in silver and gold. Today doesn't look like too bad of a day. It's a nice, good hammer pattern with a wick at the bottom. So that looks pretty good. You can see this kind of come up a little bit at the end of the day. But I'm holding on to it, not doing much. Gold Royalty Corporation. You can see this big wick kind of hammer pattern right there. Zoom in. We got a nice, good hammer pattern today. We did break to the downside, though. We got a lot of work to do, or this thing could roll over. It could. Here is Metalla Royalty and Streaming. This guy's playing with its support line as well. Is this thing going to lose support here at 670? If you see a big move below this, you may want to jet out. But right now, I mean, this is a big pattern too. This thing could go quite a bit lower if it doesn't hold. We don't move up here. It's at a spot where we still have some support. The buyers got to step in here and make a move if they're going to hold this thing up. Here's Mavericks Metals. Zooming out, this is the pattern. We broke to the downside. We did a back test. This also is, I mean, we could break to the downside here. This is at risk, definitely. You see this thing kind of break below where it's at. Does not look good. Royal Gold, it's still holding in there. This is the big picture view, the 5-year view, and the daily view. And the daily view doesn't look too bad. We got a little bit of buying pressure at the end of the day today. But we got to break out of the upside of this pattern, not the downside. And Cisco Gold Royalties, looks like this thing is just selling off. Come on, man. Here's the big picture pattern. Let's see what tomorrow brings us. If tomorrow can bring us back up on the weekly to close above this line on the weekly charts. On the daily charts, it still looks like we've got a lot of selling pressure here. We do have some support through here. Right where it's at. So hopefully we can get a bounce higher and get back into the pattern. Looking at some of the like EXK got a little wick on the bottom. It looks like it's trying to find some support. That's at least somewhat assuring. We're still in a downtrend line. When you look at it from like a 1-month perspective, it's still coming down and broke to the downside here. Spilling out. Here's SILJ. SILJ, it broke its downtrend. It's trying to find a base here, and hopefully we can muster something up to go to the upside. GDX, zooming on out. We're still in the pattern. Everything's okay here. We've got a little wick at the bottom. That's good. Zooming in on it, you can see this thing kind of coming back up, the momentum throughout the end of the day. Still, though, we need to get some buyers in here. We're struggling. We're struggling in the gold and silver complex. Looking at MMNGF, this is a small silver exploration company. It's a really small one. Kind of zooming out here, we've got this big pattern, big old pattern broken to the upside, and then we're coming back. And see, when I look at a pattern like this is super bullish to me. We broke up, and yeah, we might dance on the line for a while, but eventually I think it'll break to the upside. Why do I think that? Inflation and interest rates. Those are the two things. Higher interest rates are going to force money into these. We broke this downtrend. We're kind of coming up. This doesn't look horrible. I mean, I wouldn't say it looks great, but it looks better than some of the other patterns that we've been looking at. Discovery Silver, still pulling back some. I'd be just waiting, holding on here for Discovery Silver. Here's AG. AG, a little wick at the bottom here, so that's not too bad on a daily. Hopefully we can find some support here and move on up. For First Majestic Silver with this hammer pattern. You zoom in on it, you can see at the end of the day that we were coming back up a little bit. The momentum's coming up. We got to get some buyers to step in here and reverse these downtrends, guys. Here's Newmont. Newmont's got a good end of day here. Big buying pressure, small selling pressure. Hopefully that can continue, that type of action and movement. The descending wedge broken to the side. We're just going sideways. We are popping down a little bit today. So that's where we are today, and we're right at support. Hopefully it can hold. Yamana Gold, we're still in the pattern. Everything's looking okay, at least. We're going to zoom way in on the right-hand side. Sold off, coming back up a little bit at the end of the day. Momentum's ending upward. Or actually, this entire day is upward. Sorry. It looks okay. It's starting to make a little bit of a comeback, but not a very strong one. Impact Silver, broken the downtrend line, come back. Sometimes they do come back and do a retest here, and let's see if we can move on up for Impact Silver. And then this is Aftermath Silver. I said if you've got some cojones to try getting it off this line down here, it gave you that opportunity to buy at 30 cents. So it was there, and here it's bouncing back up 30.3258. And if we're going to see a run upward, they're going to do it right now, I think, because this is where your support's at. If we do a 6-month, you can see the support all coming through here. So it's right there, and we got to bounce. We got to bounce. If you bounce to 46 cents, it's a good move for Aftermath Silver, and put it into a free ride or something, or do what you need to do. A free ride is letting your profits ride and taking your base money out. These are a little bit more risky, the silver exploration companies versus some of the larger royalty companies and stuff. But maybe we can mitigate that a little bit by reading the charts. But these things, they had great patterns, but they just spilled right back over. On the news of the moronic, it's an anagram, I guess, for Omicron, moronic, but that virus that kind of tanked everything. I'm still holding on, guys. It's hitting me too. It's affecting me. It feels like you're getting, kicked in the sack a little bit. But I'm going to hold on. I'm going to continue to accumulate physical precious metals for sure. That's part of my plan. And guys, when you think of things, look at risk too. Risk is risk of, like, let's say you're going to get sued or something. Like, you get in a car accident, some freak accident happens, and someone's going to sue you personally for whatever reason. If you have physical precious metals outside of the system that's stored where nobody knows where it's at, it's also money there that you can have in case something like that happens. I'm just taking like weird off risks in your life that could potentially happen. If you have a good chunk of money sitting there, at least you're not going to go completely broke. So it's out of the grid, kind of off the system. Nobody knows about it, and just kind of stick it in the corner somewhere, or in a safe somewhere in someone else's house that's secure, or whatever you want to do. That protects you a little bit in case of a weird one-off thing. Just wanted to kind of bring that up because I was thinking about it one time. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ride this bull market up with us. It's been a rough ride. I can give you that. But I'm in it. I'm in it to win it, and I'm going to hold on. Thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.